What are Umbral Shards? How do you get them? How do you use them? That's the kind of question we're going to answer in this video. Now, this information is taken from the PTR. Obviously, things might change at live or later on, so just keep that in mind. Basically, this is an in-game item in New World that lets you upgrade your gear, but it only allows you to upgrade your gear if you are upgrading a gear score 600 item. You could not improve a gear score 599 to 600, but you can improve a gear score 600 to 601 and above, for example. And the max that you can take that gear score up to for now is 625. It's also worth noting that the first time you take an item slot to a new gear score that you never had before, then you get an expertise bump. So the first time you go from 600 to 601, well, in that slot your expertise will now be 601. However, keep in mind you then could equip a gear score 500 item and it obviously wouldn't scale up or anything like that. Okay, so these Umbral Shards allow you to upgrade your gear score to 625. How do you get them? Well, there's three main ways. The first one is the new expedition mutators. Basically, once you have completed the normal version of that expedition, you then unlock the mutated versions. Now, there's only going to be one mutated expedition per week, and that's because on the live version of the game, it will change each week. So once you've unlocked the mutators, you will have to start with level 1, and once you complete the level 1, you will then be able to unlock level 2, and they go up in difficulty all the way up until level 10. Okay, so let's say that now you've completed your normal version of that expedition, and now you have also obtained a expedition mutator key. Well, if you've not done any of the other tiers, when you unlock it, you'll only be able to unlock level 1, and then once you've completed level 1 to a satisfactory amount, you'll then be able to unlock level 2, and so on and so forth until level 10. As I said, it gets harder and harder each time. Now, the ways to get those expedition mutator orbs, well, there's two ways. You can craft one at the normal stonecutter, a little bit like the standard orbs, or you can actually buy them from your faction vendor for 10,000 faction points and 1,000 gold. Now, I'm not going to explain much more about the expedition mutators. If you want a separate video on that, then do let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to talk more about the Umbral Shards. The key thing to note is that there's actually two factors that affect how many Umbral Shards you get when you do an expedition mutator, and that is the difficulty level that you are doing and how well you performed as a group. So as I said, there are 10 difficulty levels, and there's actually 3 different gradings you can get: a bronze, silver and gold rating. Now on the screen here, I'm going to show you a little table that shows you how many shards you get depending on the tier that you do and then the rating that you achieve. So you can see that a tier 1 difficulty gives you like a smallish amount of them, but if you actually work your way up to the difficulty 10 and you complete like either even bronze, silver or gold there, you get a lot more shards, but obviously the content is much harder. I'll leave a link to New World fans because they have like a little table on like a web page that if you want to like reference that, then I'll leave a link in the description, and that's actually where I got the information for some of this. And then onto the easiest way of getting Umbral Shards, but perhaps not the most rewarding, and that is to carry on with the gypsum system and to continue to make the gypsum casts. So you may or may not know that the live version of the game at the moment, your expertise is actually capped at 590. As we said, this is actually going to change to 625. Now the gypsum cast will work as normal all the way up until 600 when this patch goes live, but then when you actually get to 600 and you create a cast on that specific slot, well, instead of getting an expertise rating, what you will in fact get is some Umbral Shards. I did a little test and it appeared that I got 3 Umbral Shards from getting 1 gypsum cast, but I'm not sure if that amount will vary. The final way of getting Umbral Shards is through crafting. So what's going to happen if you craft an item that is gear score 600, you're either going to get one of two things. Now again, if your expertise isn't 600, what you will in fact get is a bump in that slot. It doesn't put you automatically to 600 as some people think, but let's say your current expertise is 590 and you craft a 600 gear score item where you might get your expertise up to 592 or something like that. However, if you are already 600 in that slot, when you craft a 600 gear score item, you will in fact receive some Umbral Shards. Now I wasn't able to test this on the PTR because it's actually just too difficult to do that without trophies and stuff like that, so I'm not sure how many Umbral Shards you will get via this method. So that's how you get the shards. How do you use them? Well, there's 2 ways of using them, but it's basically effectively the same. You can either drag the Umbral Shard onto the slot, or you can literally just click your item and then click upgrade. Then you get a little slider that shows how many Umbral Shards do you want to use to upgrade that item, and it shows you what your max gear score potential will be on that item, and then you can just slide between using varying amounts of Umbral Shards because you might want to upgrade all of your pieces rather than one to the max that you can. It would be nice here to be shown exactly what stat is being improved because you can't often easily tell that. It's also worth noting that if you do spend some Umbral Shards to upgrade an item, then that item becomes bound to the player if it wasn't already. Now that's just to stop being able to trade it to somebody else, have them upgrade the item, and then, you know, you get the rewards from that. And then the next question is, okay, I know where to get them, I know how to use them, how many am I actually going to need? And again, I've made a little table here, but this one perhaps is like a little bit more ugly to read. What you see here is to go from 600 to 601 gear score, that's how many Umbral Shards you need. In this case it's 1, but to go from 624 to 625, well then you need 2,500 Umbral Shards. And just keep in mind that this is cumulative, so to get to 625 you actually need the total of that table, which from what I can work out, to take an item from 600 to 625 you need 8,940 Umbral Shards per item. So that's it really, there's not much more to say. As I said, I'm not really talking about the Expedition Mutators much here, but that's everything I think you need to know about the Umbral Shards. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, then do press the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel and interested in New World and MMOs, then please subscribe. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.